Hey, thanks for being in the REC experience with Jas and Simeon. And today we are so excited to be sitting down with the principals at Mod Development, Nerez and Gary. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you for coming.
So again, as I mentioned, we're obviously here to sit down and talk about the exciting new launch of 55 Charles. But before we get into the building, I want to talk a little bit about Mod Developments.
Mod, we started the company about 10 years ago. We come from different backgrounds from the point of view of I had been running a high-rise division of a major Toronto developer for over 20 years. My background was as an architect and as a former city planner. And we got together about 10 years ago and decided, let's go out on our own. Let's try do things a little different from as opposed to a lot of the Toronto developers. A real focus on design and also on location. And our first project that we did was 5 St. Joseph, which was a home run on a whole bunch of different levels. Sure, it was Project of the Year at Build. It was High-Rise Design of the Year, Suite of the Year. Great reaction from the public. And I look back at it today and, there's like 0 vacancy rate in that building. Like everybody that bought in that building, did very well.
That truly is one of the best received developments in the city of the downtown core, for sure.
Thank you.
And you guys aren't just too scared of heritage buildings. If we talk about another project,
no, because
that's nearing finish.
Well, Simeon, what's interesting is that what I often hear from people is that they're tired of the same old, and everybody wants to live in a unique place where they walk. Like at 5 St. Joseph, they walk in the front door of this Gothic arch from this old warehouse to get to their unit. Massey Tower, similarly, they're going to be walking into a 1905 bank with mosaic floors. There's something as opposed to just, another glass tower that's
cookie cutter.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we've always focused on what does the building look like, and particularly what are the suites like? Are they, because you can have the most beautiful looking building. If the suites aren't good, there's no value there.
And from an investor's perspective, when you have something that's so unique, tenants will pay you more. Not only is your value in terms of appreciation going to be higher, but you're also going to be able to demand higher in rents. Talking about 55 Charles now, let's touch on the location first. Because as Simeon and I like to tell our viewers and listeners, location is number one. Can't pick up the building and move it. So let's talk about the building.
Sure. Well, when Gary and I were obviously continuously always looking for new opportunities and new sites, we too follow that old adage of location. Obviously being in the Bloor Yorkville neighborhood was very appealing. Charles Street itself is already a well-proven residential street. So, you're in Bloor Yorkville, but outside the hustle and bustle. You're on a nice residential street. So immediately we were drawn to the location from that perspective. It's proximity, like very close proximity to both major subway lines, to all the major universities. You talk about investors, you have to understand there's various types of people that live in these buildings, right? And, Toronto being the type of city it is, where the high density growth is very concentrated, people are looking, to Gary's point, for something different. Location is something that is obviously critical, but how does the building function from the outside and the inside of it? We'd like to distinguish ourselves in terms of, to date, a lot of our projects have had heritage, heritage component. This building doesn't. But what we've strived to do here is from the outside in, in retaining Peter Clues and Architects Alliance, we are going to have a beautifully sculpted 48-story tower following the tradition of 5 St. Joseph, Massey, and Waterworks. Then you look from the inside out and retaining a firm that we've done a lot of business with, Ciccone Simone, that philosophy of really maximizing the livable square footage as people are living in smaller spaces. We felt that the site itself catered to us to do something, not just another point tower, but a beautifully sculpted, well-designed floor plate and exterior. So I think the location of the other amenities in the area is also a big factor. People want to be able to get to work or school, their day activities pretty easily. But then when they come home, they also want proximity to world-class amenities. The Bloor Yorkville neighborhood offers us a number of shopping experiences, food experiences, art experiences.
It's just a tremendous place to be. So the Yorkville corridor, period, is entertaining. It's world class. It sets Toronto apart from the rest of the nation for sure. And we're talking about Charles Street between Yonge and Church, so it's on the east side of Yonge in that corridor. What kind of focus are we putting on size of the suites? What's the average suite?
the model suite that we're doing is 537 square feet. I've had people walk in and think, this can't be 537. It must be 650 square feet.
Right.
Because when you design things properly, then it doesn't really matter from that point of view. In our building, we've got suites ranging from, yes, studios at 400 square feet, but we've also got 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms at 1,000 square feet. Corner suites with wraparound balconies, or
Livability.
so it's got livability, and particularly when people come in and they'll see the kind of kitchen that we've designed. This is not just your straightforward kitchen as far as 10 feet of appliances.
Sure.
We've gone the extra mile from the point of view of doing built-ins on the other side of the kitchen with bench seating, tables, all handcrafted, lots of storage that no one has done in Toronto. We haven't seen that in terms of really pushing the envelope, because I think it is a question of, as the prices are getting higher because of construction costs and because of municipal charges, and we have to charge higher, people have to get value for that extra.
Yes.
And they have to be able to, not just when they're buying the unit, if they're going to rent it out and people are saying, oh my God, can I rent it out for this amount? And they walk into this building, they'll say, yes, I can, because look at what I'm giving back to the person that's living in there.
There's more value, right? If you
Yes.
just compare it to other cookie cutter, like we mentioned earlier, buildings, you won't necessarily be able to rent it as high. And as you spoke and touched on the amenities in the building,
Sure.
what can guys expect to see?
Well, I can tell you that speaking from the inside out, because we already discussed the neighborhood themselves as a beautiful amenity itself, we wanted to ensure that people, as we live in smaller spaces, the space itself has to be fantastic, as Gary touched on. When we do finally unveil the model suite, and hopefully you'll bring your clients, as you guys are platinum VIPs, and
Thank
we're
you for
very
that.
happy working with you guys, and you have the early access. Your potential clients are going to come in, and to Gary's point, they're going to see the strong usability factor of their individual unit, and how much punch there is in there, and how much value there is in terms of space management. But then throughout the building, we have almost about 10,000 square feet on the 8th floor, where we're going to have indoor and outdoor space. And it's not just your typical indoor-outdoor space. We really pushed ourselves, as we do in all of our projects, but especially here, we had the ability to really rethink how we design gyms and that space, how we look at the outdoor space and people interact with each other. Okay, so how do you lay out communal tables? How do you have the outdoor, the kitchen amenities that people are looking for, the barbecues and all the rest of it, the fire pits? What's the view angles? How are we constructing the furniture? How are we placing various seating areas, as opposed to just dumping a bunch of things outside and having it as an afterthought?
Who's behind the design and vision? Like,
We've had a long-standing relationship with Ciccone Simone. I think from 5 St. Joseph to Massey to Waterworks, we've been fortunate enough to work with them through all those projects. So I think they've learned what Gary and I are really interested in providing to our purchasers. Because they are a world-class firm, we get the benefit of the ideas they bring to the table. The principals, as well as the staff at Ciccone Simone, travel quite a bit. They're a very enthusiastic group that bring back ideas. I think they find with Gary and I that we're very open to hear things.
Awesome.
And so when those ideas come forward, to Gary's point again, that for example, we've highly millworked a lot of our suites. That was on purpose. We really felt that people are looking for solutions. When you come into a tight suite, you really don't want to be going to shop for the perfect table for a tight suite. It's hard to find. When we're delivering that product to you and making the efficiency of your suite increase in a beautiful way, a lot of that we have to thank Ciccone Simone to bring those ideas to the table.
and it's custom made for a
Yes.
suite.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And to continue on the amenity discussion, on the 49th floor, we're fortunate enough to have a double height space where we were able to work with our architects and engineers to cut back the mechanical penthouse to offer truly breathtaking panoramic views of the city. So
Can't wait to see
we'll have,
that.
you know what, I think
Yes.
we're still in the process of rendering that space and all the creative assets that we want to deliver to people like you, and so you can start showing them to your potential clients are really going to really wow people. We're getting pretty excited.